Okay, let's talk about number 9 and number 10 now. We're going to identify the conic section given by these equations here. Number 9. Identify the conic section given by 121x squared equals 49 plus 144y squared. When we do these problems, we always want to get the x and the y terms on one side of the equation. That is our goal. And then we want the numbers on the other side. And then we can easily identify what type of conic section they are. Let's go ahead and do that first, and then we'll talk about how we can identify the conic section. So right here, I want to get the x terms and the y terms on the same side, so let's go ahead and subtract 144y squared of both sides. We would have 121x squared minus 144y squared equals 49. Okay, as I just mentioned, we got the x terms and the y terms both on the same side. Now, how can we identify which conic section this is? Okay, the way we can do that is if it's a circle, both of the leading coefficients, okay, what we're going to do now is we're going to look at the leading coefficients. So we're going to look at this one right here and this one right here. Okay, we're going to compare the leading coefficients. For a circle, they will be the same leading coefficient. They'll be the same, like it would be 121 and 121. Okay, in this case, it is not a circle. Okay, for an ellipse, they'll be different, but they'll be the same sign. They'll be the same sign. Again, this one is positive, that one is negative. This is not an ellipse. For a parabola, we're looking at the x squared and y squared terms here. A parabola, it has to be something like y equals x squared or x equals y squared. In this case, they both have a degree of 2, so therefore it is not a parabola. Okay, and so you know the answer is going to be hyperbola, but let's explain why again. Hyperbola will be different numbers, okay, and one of them will be negative, one of them will be positive. Actually, I'm sorry, I take that back. They can be the same numbers, but again, one has to be positive, one has to be negative. That's for hyperbola. Okay, so we know our answer is D, hyperbola. Okay, so let's do number 10 now. Which equation describes a circle? Okay, we're going to look at the leading coefficients on both of them. We're going to look at the leading coefficients. So let's just circle them so we know which ones we're looking at. That's a -5 here. The y squared is the highest degree, so that's the leading coefficient for the y. Right here, we got y squared, that's a 3, and we're looking at x squared, it's a -8. Here we have a -2. Here we got -2. And here we got a -5. Okay, but this one we know, we can see that's a y squared and an x right there. I don't have an x squared term. What kind of conic section do I know that will be if I just have a y squared and just an x, no x squared? Again, that will be a parabola. That'll be a parabola. So this one we know is a parabola. So we know this is not it. Okay, again, we're looking at the leading coefficients here. Okay, I'm going to look at C first. Oh, look, -2, -2, they're exactly the same. I know, again, that's a circle. So that is my answer. But let's just go ahead and look at A and B here. So again, I'm looking at the leading coefficients. They're both a square. Okay, they're both the same sign, but they're different numbers. So that one will be an ellipse. And part B here, answer B. Again, they're opposite signs. I know this will be a hyperbola.